Hello and welcome to Warcraft Daily for today, the 15th of October 2013. So in today's news we have the traditional RAF system is down, some PvP stuff, blue posts on Darker Nights, tweets, and connected realms in which there's going to be a new one, which is pretty cool. So for Recruit a Friend, it's now down, at least the traditional system is, and this is just being turned off while they're getting ready for the new system. It probably means that it's coming rather soon in patch 5.4.1. Now, an interesting thing is I saw, I think it was yesterday, a blue post saying that where they said that it's mainly just fixing bugs, hotfixes, or bugs and stuff that can't be fixed in the hotfix, but there would be one or two bits of content. Well, when they say that, does that just mean RAF, the Recruit a Friend thing, or does that mean we get a few quests which might lead us into 5.5? Hopefully it's a few quests as well, because that would be nice to lead people in. So yeah, 5.4.1 coming pretty soon, and that new Recruit a Friend system. Basically, whenever you recruit someone, you'll get a coin, and you can spend that in any of the prior mounts, like the Heart of Nightwing, the Touring Rocket, the Zephyra, or some pets or stuff like that, which I suppose is fair enough. They said that they will give us more details on the new reward options in due course, which is pretty much what they always say with stuff like this. So, yeah, good stuff there. Now for PvP. There's been a lot of stuff going on with PvP. They had a massive post about diminishing returns and stuff like that, and some people had a few questions about it, so I may as well just address them here. I don't know a great deal about PvP, but I know a lot of the audience does, so it's worth covering. So the question was also, why is the Succubus slash Shivra Mesmerize a fear and not a Mesmerize CC? And they basically said this is for balance purposes, and that they're actually looking at a Seduction or Mesmerize for some potential class changes in the future. I'd imagine that since a Warlock can fear anyway, so if they were able to have a fear and a Mesmerize, a fear and a normal CC, it would just be overpowered, but this way they have two different fears, which means that diminishing returns will apply so that it's not ridiculously overpowered. Basically, it would mean that they wouldn't be able to chain fear with normal fear and Succubus ridiculously. I think. I'm not particularly sure, but that's what I think they mean. Also, they said that the list they said only really includes the stuff that's affected by diminishing returns, so there's a lot of things there there's a good handful of things that aren't affected by diminishing returns, and they won't be there. So they said that in general, CC is something that needs to be toned back quite a bit, both in terms of the amount of CC effects available and how frequently they can be used. But still, that CC is an integral part of World of Warcraft PvP, and that dealing with it intelligently, so both knowing how to react to opponent CC and using your own, is really important, has got strong gameplay value, and it absolutely does. I think the problem is right now that so much of the CC is just an instant cast, no skill kind of thing, which is a pity. Honestly, I wouldn't be against having some skill shot CC, like maybe a cone in front of you gets CC'd or something like that. Maybe something to just make it a little bit more interesting and gameplay orientated rather than instant. I just think instant cast CC is a really bad thing, because it can't be silenced, it's just, lol, you're gone, which is unfortunate. Also for the new dampening effect, which is that after 10 minutes of an arena match, the healing taken decreases by 1% every 10 seconds. They're looking into some changes as to how to balance Necrotic Strike and dual rogue setups. So there you go. Now let's talk about blue posts. So for Darker Nights, they said that the Darker Nights are simply not just like a pure aesthetic thing, but they actually have a really big potential for affecting gameplay, like players' reaction time, mood, emotions, accessibility, stuff like that, and they probably just, it requires a lot of thought, I guess. And they said that a lot of people say that in theory Darker Night sounds like a great idea, but it all comes down to design, and that a fresh quote from Ghostcrawler is that the artists are aware of this feedback and want to address it in the future. Too dark is hard to play, of course. Well, here's the thing. I think right now it's a mixture of both the darkness problem, which honestly I don't think there's anything wrong with the way nights used to be in WoW. I thought they were really atmospheric, really nice. They just fucking bring it back to that, and I don't know, how would that affect their new lighting system? I'm not sure. It's one of the problems of being in such an old engine, I suppose. Yeah, I was in Darkshire, as you probably noticed over the last while, and Darkshire was really cool, but what I kept on realizing that it was quite dull, but there seemed to be light that just appeared from nowhere, and it felt really unbalanced and unnatural. Now, the zone itself is supposed to feel a little bit unnatural, but it just looked weird in some instances, especially when you were near fire, because Duskwood used to be a lot more dark, and now it's just like they've kept all the same lighting effects, but the ambient lighting is ramped up a little bit, meaning that it just looks quite off. So yeah, I think darker nights are absolutely integral to making the place feel like a world. At the end of the day, in an RPG, one of the most important things is making an immersive world. And how can you really have an immersive world when nighttime looks like daytime and stupid bullshit like that? I don't think it's really that good. Now for tweets, they said, it was an interesting question, what is the intended difference between major glyphs and talents? And the Blue said that it's really often just the degree of how powerful they are, and many of the major glyphs are interesting but would feel pretty lame if they made them a talent in comparison to the other ones. It's a little bit of a limitation of the current talent system, means that they have to front load all the most powerful, interesting abilities into the talents, which I suppose does make major glyphs a more interesting choice, and there are some really cool major glyphs that I like, so I don't know, I'm not completely against the system. That said, the whole like minor glyph thing and is it major or minor? Yeah, I think it's major or minor. That system's went through so many changes. I remember it used to be prime, major, and minor. It was strange. Whatever. And finally, for Connected Realms, they said they are currently planning to connect Black Dragonflight and Skullcrusher very soon. So that's very nice for those people, actually. I think it's happening, during the maintenance on Tuesday, the 15th of October, which is today. So that's it for today's news. Not a giant amount of news, but hey, interesting stuff. We got to bitch about the nighttime again, so I'm kind of happy about that. They need to fix nighttime. Come on, guys. Anyway, that's it for the show. Please like if you liked and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you next time.